Gentlemen, let me be brutally honest with you. If you've been dating a woman and she says certain things, I don't care how much you like her, how beautiful she is, or how much time you've already invested. You need to take your shoes, your pride, and your sanity and leave. This video isn't about petty arguments or silly jokes. I'm not talking about her teasing you because you forgot to take the trash out. I'm talking about words that reveal her true mindset, phrases that quietly expose how much or how little she respects you as a man. The kind of comments that sound harmless on the surface, but underneath they are loaded bullets aimed directly at your confidence and your self-respect. And the worst part, most men ignore these warning signs. Why? Because they're blinded by love, attraction, or fear of being alone. They convince themselves she didn't mean it. It's not that serious. Maybe I'm just overreacting. But here's the truth. Women rarely say damaging things by accident. Even when she says it with a smile or a sweet tone, her words reveal how she truly sees you. Female psychology is subtle. Women are masters of soft communication. They can lace a destructive message inside what sounds like a caring sentence. And if you let it slide once, you've just trained her to keep disrespecting you. This isn't about being paranoid. It's not about overreacting. It's about protecting yourself from years of emotional damage. Because if she says these 5 specific things, gentlemen, it's not a red flag. It's a full-on alarm bell. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to listen for, why these phrases are dangerous, and how catching them early can save you from heartbreak and wasted years. So pay attention, because the first phrase is one most men fall for. 1. You're too sensitive. The disrespect disguised as a joke. When a woman tells you you're too sensitive, it's almost never about you overreacting. It's about her dodging accountability. This is one of the most manipulative ways to dismiss your feelings. It's not about helping you toughen up. It's about making you doubt yourself. Here's why it's so dangerous. Healthy relationships are built on respect and communication. If you say, "Hey, this bothers me," and her response is, "Wow, you're too sensitive," she's not trying to understand you. She's shutting you down. Over time, you'll stop trusting your own emotions. You'll hesitate to speak up. You'll swallow your frustrations because you've been conditioned to think your feelings don't matter. And that, gentlemen, is how respect dies. Not in a dramatic blowout fight, but in 1,000 little dismissals that silence your voice. In psychology, this is called a power move. By making you feel like you're the problem, she avoids responsibility for her own behavior. And the moment you accept it, you're basically telling her, "Go ahead, keep crossing my boundaries. I won't stop you." Let's say you've been waiting at a restaurant for 40 minutes. She shows up late. No call, no text. You calmly say, "I don't like being kept waiting like that." Instead of apologizing, she smirks and says, "Wow, you're too sensitive. It's not a big deal." Think about that. She disrespected your time. Then she flipped it around and made you feel weak for pointing it out. That's not a playful comment. That's disrespect in disguise. A woman who respects you will address your concerns. She'll say, "You're right, I should have called." She won't mock you for having boundaries, but if she's quick to label your standards as sensitivity, she's already showing you where you rank on her list of priorities. And if you let it slide, you're teaching her your time and feelings are worthless. Gentlemen, the smart move: walk away before you lose not just her respect, but your own. And that's just the first phrase. But the second one, it's even more damaging because it kills attraction at the root. 2. You should be more like the comparison that kills attraction. When a woman starts comparing you to other men, she's not just making an innocent observation, she's telling you you're not enough. Whether she's comparing you to her ex, a male friend, or even a celebrity, the underlying message is brutally clear. You're failing to meet my standard. This isn't harmless. This is poison. It plants a seed of insecurity inside your mind. And once that seed takes root, it starts growing into self-doubt. You begin to question your masculinity. You begin to wonder if you're good enough. And here's the worst part. When that insecurity grows, it eats away at your confidence. And without confidence, attraction collapses. Women know comparisons sting. Sometimes they do it unconsciously, but other times it's calculated, a way to make you feel like you need to chase their approval. The second you start competing with an imaginary standard, you stop being yourself. You stop being authentic, and you start bending, twisting, reshaping yourself into what you think she wants. And that, gentleman, is the fastest way to lose her. Attraction completely. You've been working long hours, maybe, even grinding toward financial stability. Because of that, you haven't had much time to hit the gym lately. One night, she casually says, "You should be, more like James from my office. He's always so fit and full of energy." On the surface, it sounds like a casual comment, but underneath, she just told you another man is doing something better than you. And worse, she implied, you should change to be more like him. That's not encouragement. That's not motivation. That's disrespect disguised as advice. Over time, these comparisons chip away at your identity. You stop being the man she was initially attracted to. Instead, you become a watered-down copy of whatever standard she dangles in front of you. And the tragic irony, the more you mold yourself to fit her comparisons, the less she respects you. Because deep down, women don't want a man they can sculpt. They want a man who stands firm in who he is. Gentlemen, hear me clearly. The moment she starts putting other men on a pedestal above you, it's not a challenge to improve. It's a sign to leave before your self-worth gets eaten alive. And if you thought comparisons were bad, wait until you hear the third phrase. Because when she says it, she's not just dismissing you. She's quietly telling you that you're completely replaceable. 3. I don't need you. The disguised power play. When a woman looks you in the eye and says, "I don't need you," it might sound like independence, but in reality, it's usually something far darker. It's a subtle way of telling you you're replaceable. On the surface, it may sound empowering, like she's just saying she can take care of herself, and independence is fine. We all should be self-sufficient. But in the context of a relationship, the message cuts much deeper. You're not essential, you're optional. Relationships thrive on mutual value. Both partners should feel like they bring something unique to the table. But when she constantly pushes the "I don't need you" narrative, it shifts the balance. She's positioning herself above you. She's reminding you, directly or indirectly, that she could replace you tomorrow. And once that power dynamic is established, respect evaporates. You've been supporting her through a stressful period, maybe driving her to appointments, helping with bills, or just being present. One night during a small disagreement, she throws out the line, "I don't need you. I can do this all on my own." Now, think about that. All your effort, your consistency, your investment dismissed in one sentence. That's not strength. That's detachment. Over time, this mindset chips away at your motivation. Why keep investing in someone who acts like your presence means nothing? You'll notice her Behavior shifting too. She stops, appreciating your efforts. She makes decisions without considering your input. She carries herself like losing. You wouldn't affect her in the slightest. And before long, you find yourself in a relationship where you're physically present but emotionally invisible. Yes, no one should be completely dependent on their partner, but there's a huge difference between healthy independence and emotional detachment. Healthy independence says, I'm capable on my own, but I value what you bring into my life. Emotional detachment says, I don't need you, and I can replace you at any moment, gentlemen. Only one of those creates love. The other destroys it. You can feel it. You know when a woman genuinely values you, and you know when she's subtly reminding you that she doesn't. The second one isn't empowerment. It's a warning that the emotional connection is breaking down. Ignore it, and you'll stay in a relationship where respect is dead, but you're too scared to walk away. And if you thought that was manipulative, just wait until you hear the fourth phrase. Because this one doesn't just dismiss you, it weaponizes your love against you. 4. If you loved me, you would. The emotional blackmail trap. At first, it might sound innocent. It might even sound romantic. But make no mistake, this phrase is one of the most manipulative tools in relationships. When a woman says, if you loved me, you would, she's not making a request. She's weaponizing your emotions. This isn't communication. This isn't honesty. This is control. This phrase corners you. It forces you into a no-win situation. If you give in, you're doing something against your will. If you don't, she'll accuse you of not loving her. That's not love. That's emotional blackmail. Manipulators know this. The fastest way to break a man's boundaries is to challenge his love. And too many men fall for it. They think, I don't want her to think I don't love her, so I'll just do it. And before they know it, they're spending money they don't have, sacrificing their principles, bending over backwards just to avoid being labeled as uncaring. But here's the truth. The more you give in, the more she learns that guilt is her golden ticket. And once that becomes her go-to strategy, respect is gone. She says, if you loved me, you'd buy me that bag. My friend's boyfriend got her one. Or, if you loved me, you'd cancel your guy's trip and stay with me. On the surface, it sounds like a plea for affection. But in reality, she's not testing your love. She's testing your ability to be controlled. The more you cave, the more she rewires the relationship dynamic. Your love stops being about choice and becomes about compliance. Gentlemen, that's not love. That's submission. Real love is proven through consistent actions you choose, not actions you're guilt-tripped into. Men, wake up. Every time you give in to this manipulation, you're teaching her a dangerous lesson that your boundaries are negotiable, that your self-respect is flexible, that she can rewrite the rules of the relationship if she applies the right emotional pressure, and the longer you allow it, the less of a partner you become, and the more of a puppet you are. The next time you hear, if you loved me, you would pause, ask yourself, is this love, or is this manipulation in disguise? The answer will tell you everything you need to know about your future with her. And if you thought emotional blackmail was toxic, just wait until you hear the fifth phrase, because this one doesn't just test your love, it attacks your value as a man. 5. You're lucky to have me, the subtle threat to your value. On the surface, it might sound playful. She might say it with a smirk, a laugh, maybe even a wink. But let's be clear. When a woman tells you, you're lucky to have me, she's not giving you a compliment. She's reminding you of a hierarchy that in her eyes, she's the prize. and you're just the fortunate one. This phrase plants a toxic seed in your mind. It shifts the entire balance of the relationship. Suddenly, you're the one reaching up. She's the one looking down. And over time, this belief becomes your reality. You start thinking, I need to prove I deserve her. I need to work harder to keep her. Meanwhile, she starts acting like she's doing you a favor just by staying. Healthy relationships aren't built on who's lucky to have who. They're built on mutual respect. When a woman constantly positions herself as the rare treasure while treating you like the replaceable finder, she's telling you loud and clear, I don't see you as my equal. And the moment you accept that frame, you step into a trap. The trap of endless validation chasing. You surprise her with a gift, something thoughtful. Instead of genuine appreciation, she smirks and says, you're lucky to have me. Or maybe you're out with friends, and she jokes, oh yeah, he knows he's lucky to have me. Everyone laughs, but inside that comment stings because behind the joke is a truth. She's reinforcing the belief that you should feel grateful she hasn't left yet. If you allow this mindset to take root, the relationship turns into a one-way street. You're chasing, she's sitting on a pedestal, and instead of being valued for who you are, you're stuck in an endless cycle of proving your worth. Gentlemen, here's the reality. A woman who truly respects you doesn't need to remind you that you're lucky. She makes you feel lucky naturally, and in return, you make her feel the same. That's partnership. That's respect. Men, you might not want to hear this, but it's the truth. Most men don't lose women because they weren't good enough. They lose women because they ignored the signs of disrespect. Respect comes before love, and once it's gone, nothing you do, no gifts, no apologies, no effort, will make her stay for the right reasons. Here's the controversial reality. A woman can love you and still leave you, but she will never leave a man she truly respects. If these five phrases keep showing up in your relationship, then you're not in love. You're in a slow breakup. It just hasn't been announced yet. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever been told one of these phrases? How did it play out? Drop your story in the comments. I read them all, and I personally reply to as many as I can. Your story might be the one that wakes another man up before it's too late. And remember, the next video is going to expose the exact psychological tricks women use to test a man's strength without him even realizing it. You think you've never been tested? You're about to find out how wrong you are. So, hit that subscribe button right now, tap the notification bell, and smash the like button if this video opened your eyes. Because the truth is simple. The sooner you walk away from disrespect, the sooner you'll find a woman who gives you the respect you actually deserve. This is John Doe, and thank you for watching Morning with Marcus. Stay strong, stay self-respecting, and I'll see you in the next video.